on this first heat race. Now, don't forget, we'll invert them later on. Passing points is how you transfer in, or you take the top two from each group of heats. As we're waiting for the green flag, there she is. We're underway. First round, only the third time modifieds have raced here at Coos Speedway as Weinberger way up high on the racetrack. We're 2 wide, 3 wide at the back of the field. Up front, here comes Woggy down the inside. It's going to drop the nose on DeBenedetti. Drag race down the front straight. No, didn't quite get there in time. DeBenedetti quicker around the outside. Side by side, wheel to wheel, touch lightly. Down to turn number 1 and 2 is DeBenedetti's going to have to Woggy. Woggy will slide up, take the lane away. Red carpet's out. Here comes Folger along for the ride. Hikes up at left front tire and pours the coal to it out of turn number 4 and down the front chute. Folger in hot pursuit right now, trying to make something happen. The 49 car had started 4th on the field, runs into number 3 position. Weinberger's 4th. Behind him comes Stat, and then to the number 27 car rather. I believe we got him 4 wide deep in the field. However, right there in that race for not last, Lawrence O'Connor has got the 27 car ripping along right now in hot pursuit. Passing points are what counts. Lenz finally able to battle his way off the back of the field. Woggy, your race leader, across the stripe, puts another lap in the books. As DeBenedetti rolls along second on the field, Folger, top 3 cars kind of spacing themselves out just a little bit. Weinberger's right there. Nettenstadt still your top 5. Lawrence O'Connor slowly reeling in. Sean Nettenstadt, the number 1 car. O'Connor, the 27 car, coming out Port Hardy, British Columbia, way up at the top of Vancouver Island. Actually runs it's a transfer business, I guess what you're going to call it, I believe. I have to look into my notes on that. I can't remember exactly what he does up there. Regardless, right now he's tooling along in the number 6 position on the racetrack. So we got him fence post formation out there. Woggy working down, not quite tight to the tires. In turn number 1 and 2, racetrack is nice and smooth. A little bit of material up the top. We'll build up a little bit of cushion as the night goes on. We ran a couple hot lap sessions. They actually qualified their street stocks, their sportsman classes out here. But the track is looking stellar. Normally runs sprint cars here at Coos Speedway. This is a standard fare that they find here. We'll run a sprint car special a little bit later on this year during the Speedweek. You see that out here too, but their quote-unquote weekly class, I'm not sure if they run weekly or not, is sprint cars, 360 sprints. So Woggy walking away with it. He'll take the white flag. Final time around the quarter mile. As Mark slides her into the corner and just down the back chute. Nice and easy on the throttle. Pretty sure he's one-handed around her right now. That baby's on cruise control. Here comes your checkered flag. Woggy's going to pick up the win in heat race number 1. DeBenedetti will finish out 2nd. Folger will be 3rd. Weinberger 4th, and rounding out the top 5 is Sean Nettenstedt in the number 1 car. Is how that works.
Price from Great Falls, Montana.
So tighten them up. Monty Bischoff up front, bringing the field to life. Green flag comes out. Got the slide forward. 0 car dropped to the tail of the field. And that's going to be not just the straight 0 car. Yeah, it is. That's Papa Don West. Sorry about that. Bischoff up front. B.J. Wild, the number 12 car, right there in the number 2 spot. Look out. Thought he's going to punch into the side of Bischoff in the Formula 1 car. And on the inside comes Jesse Williamson, the Tiger. Bears its claws, coming out turn number 2 and down the back straightaways. He'll challenge the inside of Wild. Wild's going to outrun him down into turn number 3. Here comes Stanford. Stanford, if you build... Oh, crossover. Look at that. Jesse Williamson went rogue. Stanford crossed over and somehow avoided everything right there and fired her into the number 3 spot. Jesse Williamson with a rare misstep in turn number 3 and 4. Not sure what happened. Maybe suicide knob came loose on the steering wheel. Whatever it was, it knocked him back 2 spots. Stanford got by, Trenchard got by, the 54N cars. Dick has got that left front tire coasting across the ground right there, hiked up just a little bit. Not quite leaving the left front at home, but she's definitely not making a whole lot of contact in the 54N cars. He puts the power to it. B.J. Wild working a little higher. What I was starting to say before the whole thing went down with Alex Stanford, Jesse Williamson, Stanford, the 98 car, if you give him a little bit of cushion to work with, he will lay that right rear tire on it and hammer that thing around there. He is bad, fast, no matter where he's running on the racetrack, but a cushion, oh my goodness, he comes to life. He'll throw sparks off the back of it if it's against the wall. So we roll on across. Monty Bischoff looking stout up front in the Formula 1 car, the F1, out of Central Point, Oregon. High side chassis. So if you're familiar with Kyle Strickler and the high side chassis he was building, that may be the only high side on the West Coast. Not sure. You'll have to ask Strickler, and you can do so during the Cheesehead Triple Crown broadcast, as Kyle Strickler in the number 8 car will be there. We'll be broadcasting it live next week from 141 Speedway, Luxembourg Speedway, and Chilton. 3 racetracks in a row, 4 nights of racing, including the 10,000 win Clash at the Creek at 141. Here comes Stanford down the inside of BJ Wild, picks him off right at the line. BJ gasses that baby back up. He is quick coming out turn number 2. I don't know what he found up there, a little crease or something. But BJ Wild's got the preferred line out of turn number 2. 3 and 4 is where he'll tell the tale. Watch Stanford again challenge down the inside, cross up to the top side of the racetrack. Thought about it, but the white flag's out. Final time around the quarter mile. Stanford, can he get one more position? We're going to find out. 3 and 4. Monty Bischoff is untouchable up front. He'll pick up the checkered flag. Second is going to go to BJ Wild in the number 12 car. Stanford finish out third. Trenchard fourth. And Jesse Williamson rounds out the top 5 at heat race number 2. Pass there, I knew it was my only opportunity, and he said we touched, and that was the end result. Busted a shock, and he had to bow out after that. Green flag comes out, 99 car. Martin cracked the whip on it, and that thing just hopped 2 down the front straightaway and drove about 2 or 3 car lengths on the number 66 of Paul Stone. The Stone Motorsports 66 P car. Still along the number 2 spots. We had a little bit of chaos back here at the tail of the field. Here comes Ireland on through. Ryan Gaylord's not having a good start to the evening right now as he gave up a couple of spots right there. Somebody else that's on the move. Watch the number 48 car. Cale Carter, Lake Havasu City, Arizona runner, had started back in the number 7 position. He's got himself third right now, and he may have more left. He's trying to diamond off the corner. He's going to run himself out of real estate, however, with Zach Olson, the 4Z car right there, dabbling around in the number 4 spot. But right now, Cale Carter is the hard charger out of this heat race. Ripping his way from 7th to 3rd. Right there, he'll drive away. He's got a little bit of time to run down your race leader. Brad Martin in the 99 car and Paul Stone in the 66. Stone looking pretty good here tonight. He struggled the first 2 nights of this series. Tonight, looking a little better as they slide in. The track conditions here at Coos Speedway. Oh, my goodness. Oh, beautiful, eh? Yeah, it's tremendous. For not running modifieds here all the time. Martin still leading him around. Stone working the middle. That's cool. First 3 cars are all running 3 different lines around this racetrack right now. Brad Martin's got her tucked tight to the tires, catfishing down here in turn number 1 and 2. Paul Stone's working the middle of the racetrack, and the 48 of Cale Carter's working the top shelf. You see the difference right there as they lay it in. But the laps are definitely dwindling. Looks like Paul Stone's not going to have enough to run down the 99 car. Brad Martin, the 2014 Northwest Extreme Late Model champ, behind the wheel of the 99. Transferring into or moving into the modifieds. This is, this will be his 9th race in a modified now for the 99 car. She's definitely got a little boot scoot and boogie out on the racetrack right now. Martin just kind of coasted through the corner, back on the gas. Paul Stone followed by Martin. Here comes your challenge now for the number 4 spot. Zach Olson's got it. Robbie Ireland wants it. As Ireland peeks down the inside. Nope, checks up right there. That'll seal his fate. Here comes the white flag out. Final time around for your race leaders. Ireland may have been able to pick him off, but gave up too much real estate. Now Ireland's under attack out of Ryan Gaylord down to turn number 1 and 2. Up front, Martin's going to pick up the win. Stone will finish out in the number 2 spot. 3rd, 4th, 5th is up for grabs. Ireland's going to hang on to it. 3rd was the 48 of Cale Carter. 4th, Zach Olson, and 5th is going to be.
The goal is real simple.
So here we go. Well, that's going to be a good start. Didn't look like it was going to be a good start. There's the 41 car of Danny Lauer who's peeking down the inside. He will take him 3 wide momentarily down turn number 1 and 2 as everybody scrambles around in trouble. On the back chute. Oh, he got her fired up again. He's going to be able to continue on, but the car's shut off right there. For the number 75 C car. Graham Cook's got her gas back up. Travis Peary challenging to the inside of Joe German. German able to hold off that challenge. Up front, Troy Morris Jr. is your race leader, taking hypo across the stripe and putting her lap into the books. Danny Lauer runs 3rd right now. As behind him rolls the 68F car. Bubba Foster, as I mentioned, the 2013 Willamette Modified champ, not running for points this year. He said it's a tremendous amount of work to run for points. They just run for fun now till they spent the first couple, or this weekend, I should say, out on the sand dunes. blasting around. Here he is blasting around the racetrack with Joe German chewing on his tail feathers down to turn number 3 and 4. German trying to make a move to the inside. Peary will try to follow suit if he can make it happen. So far, German not up to the task, although this time out of turn number 2 he might have something. Top 3 cars have broken away. Troy Morris Jr.'s got something up front. Look out! Body slam down to turn number 3 and 4. Danny Lauer almost able to clear Heupel in the number 14 cars. Troy had slid up high on the racetrack. A lot of daylight down the inside. Danny Lauer fired it on through, creased up the bodywork on that right rear. Well, actually, he didn't. Look at that. It sprung back. He's good to go. No harm, no foul. No blouse, no gouge, no mark. Didn't happen. Heupel tries to battle back down for the number 3 spot. Joe German in the number 4 position, followed by Travis Peary, rounding out your top 5. This final heat race for the Modifieds. So as we got them singled out and ripping around here, I know I have your attention. Just a reminder, if you're just joining us here, we are broadcasting from a valley out here at Coos Bay Speedway, about 10 miles outside of town. Our signal is very tenuous. We are broadcasting. If something happens and we lose a connection, as here comes Peary down on the inside of Joe German down the back straightaways, trying to make it happen. The white flag comes out final time around. Travis Peary trying to pick up a spot. He's got him. That'll turn number 4. Peary will slide into the number 4 spot on the racetrack. German back to 5th now. Up front is still Troy Morris Jr. bringing him out of turn number 4 to the checkered flag. Morris, followed by the 41 of Danny Lauer, will finish out 2nd. Heupel will finish out 3rd. Peary will be 4th. And Joe German will round out the top 5. Anyhow, our connection very tenuous. If something happens on our end, we will notify you via social media. Out of Fernley, Nevada, to the outside from Martinez, California, it is Troy Folger in the 49, the 57 car of Ethan Laters, the 1M. Mark Woggy and the 0 of John DeBenedetti, who has shut down something. Might have broken on DeBenedetti's car. He gassed it up. He's off the pace, tail of the field. He's got trouble. He's going to drop down the infield. John DeBenedetti is out of the running in this heat race right here as he's trying to limp it around the racetrack. He was 5th in points, but he's got his work cut out for him tonight. Scott Lenz trying to capitalize on that front row starting spot. Is leaving the left front at home in the 83 All Cars. He's got her gassed up down the front straightaway. Lawrence O'Connor had started 2nd. He runs 2nd. Weinbarger's going to try to pick him off, though. Here comes Superman down the inside. Almost creased the tail feathers of Lawrence O'Connor. O'Connor way up high on the racetrack. Jacks it and cracks it out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Weinbarger continues to pester him. Folger runs into number 4 spot right now. Back behind him is the 18 of Baker. As Weinbarger, the one challenging for one more spot. That's all he wants. We're taking the top 2 out of each group of heats or each heat race in passing points. And Weinbarger, Superman, started 3rd. Look out! O'Connor around. Caution flag coming out. Caution flag coming out. I mean, his friends and family and sponsors all went together and got a brand new race car. He'll have it together for later on in the year, but awesome gesture. We'll fill you in more. Follow on social media. You'll find out more about it later on. As here comes Folger on the attack. Looking down the inside of Weinbarger. Call it to the outside. Folger on the inside. Folger's got to keep it gassed up to keep out of the side of the Superman car. Weinbarger up to the back bumper of Lenz and the 83L cars. That battle continues out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Netstedt trying to capitalize on the inside. Folger had pushed up high on the racetrack, and Sean Netstedt had that baby on the gas. Coming out turn number 4, was almost able to squeak on through, couldn't quite pull it off. Baker's off the pace. He's down to the infield, the 18 car. Lawrence O'Connor from the tail of the field picks off the number 57 car of Ethan Laters. Laters will be shuffled back to last. Now Lawrence O'Connor will set his sights on Mark Woggy, but he's got a long way to go to run down the 1M car. Netstedt rolling along there in the number 4 spot right now, trying desperately to come up with a way to get around Folger in the 49. He's got him occupied enough that Colin Weinbarger is able to get away from him. Put a little cushion of comfort between himself and the 49 car and set his sights on the 83L car up front, although at this point in time, Scott Lenz is smoother than chicken lips around this racetrack. Just kind of eases it in the corner, lets the back end slide around, picks up the gas, and he is bad fast. Smooth is fast as the white flag comes out. A quarter mile between Scott Lenz and victory in this round of heat races. As Weinbarger still solid, the number 2 spot. Folger and Nettenstedt, your top 4. Mark Woggy, the 1M car, currently tools along 5th on the field. Woggy had started 8th. So good run for the 1M car. Checkered flag comes out. That one is official for the second round with heat race number 1. Takes us into group number. Hideaway, the left turn lounge, and the duck stop up in Mallard, Iowa. So here comes green flag on heat race number 2, round 2. Trenchard to the outside, getting a little crowded up front. Joey Price, the number 37 cars, got himself in a little battle right there. Almost went 4 wide as he dropped back in between Alex Stanford, the 98, Monty Bischoff in the F1. Look out, Monty. Jumped the cushion down to turn number 3 and 4, and he is shut down. Caution flag comes out. Drag strip, we should put him out here on the asphalt because that's what we're looking at right here. That is slow, slow, slow. Gassing it up. Trying to outmuscle him down here. Trenchard getting a little push from Jesse Williamson as Williamson was quick on the throttle right there, and a little punch in the rump for the 54 N car. Shot him forward, got him the number 1 spot. Williamson runs out of daylight. Has to check up just ahead of Stanford. Stanford working a cushion top side of the racetrack as well. I told you, watch them. They'll find some speed up there. There's no doubt about it. Having said that, though, look at that. Stanford dropped down to the inside. The 98 Stanford chopping sponsored ride. Settles into that number 5 spot. Williamson looking to pick off a position. He'll get around the number 36 of Campos. Shuffling back to 3rd. Jesse Williamson will now set his sights on Trenchard up front in the 54 N car, and I believe he may have the speed to run him down. Meanwhile, Stanford having trouble holding off Monty Bischoff. Monty got down to the inside. Powered it up as we got one crossed up. That is Jesse Williamson. I was watching the battle back behind it. I did not see what happened with Williamson. That's 2 of them that got away from me right there. He is back in the number 7 spot. Up front, Trenchard brings the field back to life. 54 N car, another sharp-looking race car out here. The old Shaw by JT Chassis. It is quick like a bunny off that front row, opening up that 3-car length lead over the 37 of Joey Price. Stanford settled into the number 3 spot. Monty Bischoff, now remember, had worked to the inside and almost picked off Stanford. Stanford now knows stay low on the racetrack unless you want to see that F1 car blow on by. Back behind 3 wide, Jesse Williamson threading the eye of the needle to the inside. The number 36 of Campos to the outside of BJ Wild, the number 12 car. Williamson tiptoes through turn number 3 and 4. Back on the gas. Monty Bischoff lies ahead. Bischoff will stay up high on the racetrack. Williamson a little bit of a push into turn number 1. Is going to watch the F1 car drive away. And Campos almost got around the outside of the W5 car as well. This time, Williamson a little higher on the racetrack. We'll see some action down the inside. As Campos trying to get back into that number 5 position on the racetrack. Williamson goes to work again on the inside of the F1 car. Bischoff holds him off. Horsepowers it up down the back straightaway. Rock and roll through 3 and 4. Now Williamson will solidify the number 4 spot. Or Willie Bischoff is quick back around the outside. Didn't quite get to the stripe in time, but she's not over until the fat lady sings, and I don't see any opera happening out here. Here comes Trenchard out of turn number 4 across for another lap. Joey Price solid at number 2 spot, followed by the 98 of Alex Stanford, Jesse Williamson, and BJ Wild able to get around the Formula 1 car while we were watching that action up front. Wild now rolls 5th on the field. Monty Bischoff back with John Campos, 6th and 7th respectively. As now Joey Price thinks he has a little something for your race leader. Watch this. Here comes Price down inside the number 37 car. Trenchard to the outside. Trying to keep that baby going. Almost a little slip of the grip as we got one around in front of your race leaders. Caution flag comes out. Papa West. So here we go. Trenchard going to bring him back to life. Stanford around the outside of Joey Price. You can hear him just winding on number 98 car. Had a lot of speed. He'll work it up high on the racetrack to give him room down the inside. Didn't want to pinch off the 37, trying to give him a lane to run with, and almost let Williamson through. As here comes Jesse Williamson. Remember, he'd gone to the tail of the field while he's working on the number 4 position right now. The inside of BJ Wild. Wild is right there in the number 12 car. He was making a gear change earlier on down in the pits. A lot of re-gearing here for this whole quarter mile. Like I said earlier, the 3rd visit for the modifieds, not a lot of data. Checkered flag comes out. Trenchard's got the win. Price will finish out 2nd, followed by Stanford in number 3 spot. 4th is BJ Wild. And Jeff the Cheesehead Triple Crown. But they'll be live on Speed Shift TV next week. Right now, we're going to throw the green flag on this group. This is Group C, ripping her way down into the corner. Zach Olson trying to hold off Ryan Gaylord. Gaylord to the outside, the 7R car. The Golden Colorado racer, Flying Ryan. He's going to lay her up there in the middle of the racetrack. Didn't quite seek out the cushion. That time is look out, around goes Castle. Caution flag going to come out as he backed her into the tire down here on Group C, inverted.
0 laps complete, 10 laps to go.
Green flag set to fly. There she be. We're underway. Olsen spun the tires a little bit. You saw the back end waggle around, and there he goes around now. Turn number 1 and 2. Everybody manages to avoid. He'll go to the tail of the field if the caution flag comes out. Paul Stone had a turn on the inside of row number 1 as we continue to shuffle around there. That little misstep cost him dearly. Now Stone had started 5th, and through all that has taken place here with Group C, finds himself starting front row in a 66 Pete car. That's pretty good. He'll probably take it. Right behind him comes Martin in the 99 to the outside. Ireland into number 8. Robert Ireland. Working at number 4 spot is up front. Gaylord is going to try to keep himself in the number 1 position here in the 7R car. Looking to turn his luck around as well. He's got himself a nice lead over Paul Stone into 66. Paul Stone runs second. Look out. I thought the back end was going to snap around on Stone there momentarily. He came around quick when he gassed her up. Kept it underneath of him. Bobby Ireland around the outside, the number 99 of Martin. Martin continues to work hard. Sleeves rolled up. In the 99 car, trying to hold off the 8, and it's not going to happen for him. I'll tell you what, Bobby Ireland has got himself a handful in that race car. She's got a bad push. Down to turn number 3 and 4. Not so much in 1 and 2. It looked pretty good right there. So it may have just been driver error in 3 and 4 that last time around. But watched him. It seemed like it was pushing through the center of the quarter. No, he's good. He's good. Apparently he was doing some rolling up of sleeves of his own there, the number 8. So he now looks pretty stellar right there in that number 3 spot. May not have enough car to run down Stone in the 66, and Stone definitely doesn't have anything for Ryan Gaylord up front. Ryan, whenever he shows up, he's usually bad fast. Right now he's showcasing that for you out front, the old Rage chassis. Little hop, skip, and a jump down into the corner for Flying Ryan. So he brings him around and puts another lap on the old chalkboard. Paul Stone solid in number 2 spot. Robert Ireland third on the field, followed by Brad Martin in the 99 running 4th. Your 5th position right now is the 4Z of Zach Olsen. Olsen had started front row, so this obviously did not help his cause. He's all the way back to the number 5 spot. Beyond Olsen comes Castle in the number 25 car. Greg Castle, the Albany, Oregon racer, and a Rocket by Rollman chassis. Sponsored by the Esterly Motel, Lincoln City. I'm seeing a lot of Esterly Motel around here, so I don't know if you're watching online. Whoever runs the Esterly Motel, thank you for sponsoring all these race cars. And if we're ever in Lincoln City, we will be staying at your establishment. We do appreciate it. Sponsors are what make this whole world go round and round. Exactly what Ryan Gaylord's doing up front as he continues his little march towards victory here. The white flag has flown that time by the flag stand. Gaylord will take it down into 3 and 4 for his final time here in Group C, inverted. Checkered flag comes out. Ryan picks up the win. Paul will be in the number 2 spot. Robert will finish out 3rd, followed by Brad and Zach. That's your top 5 out of Group C. Well, Peary, we'll see what he has in store for us. He's got that brand new PCD out here. Gassed up. Down the inside, look out, trying to slide across the nose of Joe German. German back on the attack to the inside. Here comes Smoking Joe. It's German. Had good run coming out of the corner, good forward bite. Couldn't quite roll through the apex, down 3 and 4, and he'll watch Peary drive away from him in the PCD. It's German working the wheel. Hanging on to the number 2 spot from now, but slicing and dicing his way from the tail of the field. Watching Troy Morris Jr. I thought he was going to be able to make a move there, and that was not the case. 75 C car able to hold him off. As Graham Cook runs some pavement modifieds as well for Cook. As now Troy Morris Jr.'s got some velocity. He shot through the eye of the needle down there. Troy kind of forces the issue on to 68 above him. Slide into the number 4 spots. Look out, Peary's around. Contact and chaos taking place down to turn number 2. As Danny Lauer and Travis Peary got tangled up, both of them down to the infield. Peary's trying to roll on. He'll keep it. Green flag racing out here as he'll grab the gear. And up front, Joe German inherited the race lead. That'll put Troy Morris Jr. in the number 2 position right now. And Bubba Foster will roll in the number 3 spot. Or not Bubba, that's the other one. I'm sorry. That's our other number 68. That's Beetle Bailey in the number 3 spot. Jesse Bailey trucking. Number 68 is currently running third. Bubba's working down low on the racetrack, trying to make a pass there. Travis Peary now rolls last. Your 6P cars coming back in a B-main event. Incredible. Incredible. 75C at Graham Cook. Ran into the wall right there, just glanced off it ever so lightly coming out turn number 2, knocked himself back a spot as Bubba was able to get down to the inside. Now the 268 cars are going to have at it. Vito Bailey trying to be smooth down at turn number 1 and 2. We'll watch the number 68 of Bubba Foster down the inside. 68 and 68. Just ahead of the battle now taking place for not quite last. Graham Cook's the outside, the 41 car down to the inside. As Danny Lauer's trying to find some traction for action out turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. He's got a good run. He'll take it deep into turn number 3 and pick him off. Up front, your race leader, Joe German across for the white flag, followed by Troy Morris Jr. second. Vito Bailey rolls third right now, and here comes the 41 of Danny Lauer. He's going to move up to the number 4 spot. Recovered after the contact with Travis Peary and just drove away from him. He might be able to get one more spot. Checkered flag comes out for German, Morris, Bailey, and Danny Lauer. Main number 1 looking for the top 3 to advance. The green flag comes out. Gaylord down the inside. Zach Olson on the outside. We are officially underway. Only the top 3. That's a lot of pressure to get yourself up there right now. Joey Price is trying to hang on to the 3rd position as behind him comes Jesse Williamson. Look out, contact back behind John DeBenedetti. Hopping tires not once, but twice. Twice with the number 48 car of Cale Carter. Just could not get away from him. DeBenedetti is tore up from the floor up there on the right-hand side, and I believe there's going to be Speedway tomorrow is where we shall be. Up Cottage Grove, Oregon, green flag comes out. Slow to start on the outside of run number 2. Williamson's going to get the number 3 spot away from Joey Price. Just that slick right there as he squeaked down to the inside. Shot into the number 3 spot. May shoot into the number 2 spot before she's all said and done. Zach Olson's got himself a challenge. Now the Tiger car right there as Williamson works down tight to the tires, rotates through the corner. He has got that baby hooked up and hammered down. Watch Williamson. That thing has got a beautiful attitude to it as he hooks the left front tire right there on the berm just a little bit. He'll power around Olson. That'll shuffle this 4Z car back to the bump. Joey Price is out looking in. Lawrence O'Connor's out looking in. As is Bubba in the number 68 car. Kind of keeping an eye on the old 3rd generation race right there. Bubba Foster, I thought he was going to come up to speed as he snapped the throttle on it. And now Lawrence Connor able to power away. Hanging on to 5th right now, but 5th ain't good enough. It's going to put him in LCQs, what it's going to do. We're only taking the top 3, and Zach Olson has got himself a transfer into the big dance. As we sit right now, Joey Price has got himself some company. Sir Lawrence O'Connor working down the inside. Lawrence O'Connor picking up the win out at the Duel in the Desert in the seniors race. The old guns, not the young guns, but the old guns. I don't know, I can't remember what we call that out there, but he's picked it up a couple times. Didn't go back to back, but he won it last year. And he won it 2 years prior, I believe. So a 2-time winner. The old timers race out the Duel in the Desert. He's up front. Jesse Williamson took over as captain of the vessel. And I told you that thing was rotating rather nicely. Ryan Gaylord watched him drive on through. So Williamson puts another lap into the books. That lap, he actually made that pass so fast I didn't even notice it as I was watching back deeper in the field. Lawrence O'Connor, see if he can get around Joey Price. Gaylord settled into the number 2 spot, and then about half a straightaway back to Zach Olson, who still is tooling along 3rd on the field. Joey Price just cannot get to him. He's throwing everything at him but the kitchen sink. Lawrence O'Connor working down low to the inside of the racetrack, trying to pick off Price right now. He might be able to get a 2-fer here before she's all said and done, as Price has now slowly reeled in Zach Olson. Olson's quick coming out turn number 4, not so quick coming out turn number 2. So I don't know if he hasn't found the sweet spot or what the deal is right there, but Price is able to close down the back straightaway in the 37 car. As he kind of eases in the corner, gets back on the gas. Price working hard, trying to pick up a transfer spot. He might be able to get him. Running out of time, however, as the sands drain from the hourglass, as I heard someone say at one time. As Price has got to do it. It's now or never. Here comes the attack out of turn number 4 to the inside. Zach Olson says, nay, nay. It's going to take a little better effort than that if you want a transfer spot. Olson will slide out wide. Now the pressure being applied. May throw him off his line just a smidge. Caution flag comes out. Caution flag comes out. Here we go. Williamson drops the nose on it, drops the hammer coming out. Turn number 4 just powers away. I mean, absolutely, positively powers away from the rest of the field by about 6-8 car lengths into turn number 1. I don't know if they were sleeping or what. I don't think that was the case because the entire second row was just sitting there spinning the tires while Williamson said, see ya, goodbye. Gaylord still solid in the number 2 spot, but third is very much up for grabs here in these dwindling laps out of B-Main number 1. Joey Price to the inside, the number 37 car bumping on the throttle. Showed the nose to Olson, but Olson again shrugged off the Montana racer. Joey Price has got turn number 1 and 2 figured out. 3 and 4 is his nemesis at this point in time. Here's the white flag up front. This is it. All or nothing. Joey Price, can he race his way into the feature event out of this B-Main number 1? We're going to find out on these final 2 turns as here comes Bryce down to the inside. Joey's gassed it up. A little bit of contact as Olson comes down to protect. Drag race on the front chute to the start-finish line. Olson, good job holding off Joey Price. He'll go to the big dance, as will Ryan Gaylord. And up front, Jeff Natstat to the outside. They are side by side, wheel to wheel. Green flag, actually good start all the way back through the field. Castle may be the one to watch right now. Had a good charge coming out of the corner, so he's got some horses under the hood. We'll see if he can put it to use and pick off the remainder of the field. Got to pick up about 4 or 5 spots at contact. Chaos up front. Ireland, what are you doing? Ho, 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 my. Look out. Ireland's got trouble. Something awry with the number 8 cars. He got her sideways, and he was off his feed down to turn number 3 and 4 to allow Nedstedt to run around the outside. There's the caution flag coming out. So we got 2 of them tangled up. Whoops. A little chaos there's Heupel on of row number 3 in this B-Main event, your feature event winner from last night. Jesse Williamson won the first night. He was coming out of a B-Main here tonight, so she is definitely some talent-laden races that we've watched out here. As Travis Peary's got her down there. Monty Bischoff 3 wide for the number 2 spot. Up, Peary thinks better of it. Drops out, checks up just a little bit. He says, I'm not going to try that. We'll gather the resource, see if we can storm the castle here in just a couple of laps or 2. Up front, Sean Nettenstadt's trying to get away as Ireland. There is that move again. He has got trouble with the number 8 cars. He watches 4 cars get by him. And turn number 1 and 2 is now Peary's tangled up. Look out. Oh, contact right there. There's a 36 position. He started to the outside the last time. So here comes the green flag. A good run down into the corner. We're going to stay side. Oh, look out there. My goodness gracious. We'll see what he can do from that position. He started to the outside the last time. So here comes the green flag. It's a good run down into the corner. We're going to stay side. Oh, look out there. My goodness gracious. Vito Bailey got her way sideways, had himself a transfer spot, and unfortunately got crossed up on the racetrack, got in the side of another car, and he goes all the way to the tail of the field. He's coming back in the last chance qualifier. There's a caution flag coming out. Caution lights are out. Caution flag is out. The feature event here tonight. 35 laps will be the distance on the feature event here at Coos Speedway. But right now we're worried about putting this B-Main behind us and moving on, taking these top 3 cars into the big dance here tonight. Good run for Vito Bailey. He's going to try to capitalize on getting his position back. Didn't get tangled up that time down turn number 1 and 2 as he rouses his way into the number 2 spot, the number 68 car. Ireland still running third on the field. Campos trying to get the old number 36 into a transfer. Here comes Ireland down the inside of Vito Bailey. He's feeling his oats down to turn number 1 and 2, and look at that. Laid one on him. Down the back straightaway, moves into the number 2 position on the racetrack, and right now it looks like Ireland's got his sights set on the number 1 car up front. Adstedt better be on his game. Apparently the number 8 car healed itself. That's the best he's looked out here thus far as we got one around down to turn at number 1 and 2. We're going to try to stay green flag racing. Hopefully Ryan Baker, nope, not going to be able to get it fired up. Here's the green flag out. Ireland Working from the outside this time. Down turn number 1 and 2. He's up off the bottom. His car's still looking pretty good for Robert Ireland into number 8. He's got a good run down the back chute. 68 car still hanging tough in the number 3 position as Bailey rolls out with Campos in hot pursuit. Top 4, a little bit of a separation for Monty Bischoff in the number F1 car. Bischoff has got good straightaway speed, not so much in the quarter speed as it's way sideways when he gets in there. You can see that thing digging like a non-wing sprint car. As he tries to hang on to the top 4, it's not going to happen for him, however. So right now, the challenge will be for that 3rd and final transfer spot. Trying to race his way in. Campos in the 36 car will move to the outside of Beetle Bailey. Bailey down tight to the tires, protecting the inside of the racetrack right now. Hanging on to 3rd. Campos continues to pester. High on the racetrack. Not a lot of banking to grab on this bad boy. She's got some. Semi-banked oval is what it would be referred to if you check it out in your racing directory. So those runs down off the banking don't give you quite the velocity you'd find at a place, say, like Marshalltown Speedway. You got to find the traction on the inside is what you got to do during this B-main event. That's exactly what Campos has down there. He's got something figured out. We'll see if he can make a run at the 68 car. Jesse Bailey working it, hitting the marks, putting it around the racetrack as consistently as possible so far. Able to hold off Campos in the 36 car. Up front, Nanstadt's across. Separates himself by about half a straightaway over Robert Ireland in number 8 car. Ireland's got that thing settled down now, and she looks pretty good. But there's definitely something that they've got to find, a little demon underneath the hood of the number 8 car. That's the best it's looked handling-wise all night tonight. Bailey still running 3rd on the field. Campos running 4th. Drives it hard out to turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Pokes the nose up. Doesn't run it deep on him, though. Gave him room to work with. A lot of respect among these racers out here. I love seeing that. As look out. Papa West was around down to turn number 1 and 2 just ahead of your race. Hang on a second. I'll accept it. Here in just a second. Green flag's coming out right now. I'll be with you in a minute, Kellen. It's Nanstadt leading down through there. Beetle Bailey looking for the number 2. Campos is capitalizing. Robert Ireland had himself the number 2 spot. He's going to find himself in 4th coming out turn number 4. Oh my, gave up the transfer. Or did he? It's Campos. Little miscalculation, a misstep. And Ireland got lucky coming out of the corner down there. And hangs on to the number 3 spot. Here's your white flag. Final time around for Nanstad up front. Oh, my goodness. Ireland a little bloused and gouged on the left-hand side of his race car, but he's got himself a transfer into the big dance. Here in just a smidge, checkered flag comes out. This one is complete. Sean Nanstadt picking up the win. 68 car. Jesse Bailey finishes out 2nd. Robert Ireland will be your 3rd and final back on the inside. The number 57, it's Ethan Laters. And the outside Laters, Travis Perry, the 6P. The 48 car is supposed to be out here as well. Cale Carter, the 4T of Troy Heupel, which is not present. And that is how we stack them up. We're missing the 0 car, also a straight 0. Papa West. Up front, it is Joey Price in the 37. Campos to the outside. Price working to berm down on the inside. Campos, good run, coming up high on the racetrack. Everybody working the middle of the groove. Nobody going up and trying to create a cushiony area or run the cushion around the top shelf. So far on the old quarter mile, we'll see that open up here during the feature event whenever we put all 20 cars out here in just a smidge. Right now, we are still side by side, wheel to wheel up front. And this last chance qualifier, only taking the top 2, and here comes Lawrence O'Connor to call. As Lawrence will run down that little battle up front. We're going to have a 3-wide here momentarily. Watch for it. As Joey Price powers back out into the number 1 spot. Campos quick, runs it deep into turn number 1 and 2. Tried to draw along Price and didn't happen for him. Inside may be the place to be, and Lawrence O'Connor's got himself down there right now in the 27 car. John Campos has got to change up his line. He's sticking with it. And he's going to give up the number 2 and final transfer spot to Lawrence O'Connor this time. Coming out turn number 2 as Campos swings way wide on the racetrack. Bubba Foster watching it all take place just in front of the 69F car. So on to the front chute they come. 68F car, rather, as the case may be. Top 4 pulling away just a smidge from the rookie racer in the 18. What a stellar job he's doing out here in this last chance qualifier, however, as he's trying to hold off Castle to 25 and so far is up to the task for Baker. Ryan Baker looking good. Is up front. O'Connor's got the number 2 spot. Working very, very low, tight to the berm on the inside. Campos still there. Lurking into number 3 position on the racetrack, and the number 36 cars needs to pick up a few spots. 15 laps was the distance on this last chance qualifier race. Here's a crossover down the inside comes Campos. Lawrence O'Connor held him off that time, but Campos has got a plan. He's watching O'Connor sweep wide, coming out turn number 2, and Campos taking it in way wide. And turn number 1 able to come out low, and turn number 2 wasn't close enough to make it happen that time. And also, Lawrence O'Connor settled himself down. Caution flag comes out. Castle is around down at Twitter and Instagram at SpeedShift TV. Here we go. Lawrence O'Connor inside the racetrack. Campos around the outside. Right now you can score him in the number 2 spot, but he's got to hold off O'Connor down turn number 3 and 4. Campos runs it deep into the corner. He's got something. Oh my, he's strapped on to big boy pants, and here he comes after 37 of Joey Price around the outside. John Campos found some, well, I don't know what he found, some bravery, some something or other. As right now he is driving that thing around the outside of the racetrack. He's got O'Connor picked off. He's got Joey Price picked off as they cross over the line. John Campos is on a mission right now. He was in 3rd, out of the hunt. Right now, almost has the number 1 spot sealed and away from Joey Price into 37. Hit the marks, John. That's what you got to do. Not quite there that time. Lawrence O'Connor broke out of formation. He'll follow Campos around the outside of Joey Price right now. Montana runner has got his hands full, holding off the 36 car. Jackson around down turn number 4 and onto the front straightaway. Look at this run Campos has got. He's the first one to the stripe in the number 36 car, and O'Connor trying to capitalize on it. Look out, got into the back bumper of the 37. A little shot in the shorts for Joey Price in the 37 car down to turn number 2. Top 3 cars got a tremendous battle taking place. Campos is the first one to the stripe yet again. Joey Price is now officially on the bump of the 37 car. That top side of the racetrack has come in. It's down the back straight. Into turn number 3 they go, still side by side and wheel to wheel. A rolling roadblock for Lawrence O'Connor in the 27. White flag comes out this time by. One more time around a quarter mile. Lawrence O'Connor's got to do something big, something stellar, something magnificent if he's going to get himself into the big dance here tonight. And right now, this is it. Do or die time. Out of turn number 2, checkered flag comes out. Joey Price hangs on to the win. John Campos will be your second transfer car. And Lawrence O'Connor will try it again tomorrow from right here at Coos Bay Speedway. Here's your crank it up. Ooh, got that rumbly in our tumblies here as they cut a blues. Lots of horsepower sitting out on the track right now for the ground pounders. The IMCA Modifieds on night number 3 of the Wild West Modified Shootout. We've been to some stellar tracks so far. We've got some stellar tracks yet to visit as we head up to Cottage Grove tomorrow night. You can watch it live right here on Speed Shift TV. 35 laps the distance here tonight. Looking for some big things out of that front row right now to hold off the talent coming behind. On the inside of row number 1 to 99, Brad Martin, the 2014 Northwest Extreme Late Model Champ, has 13 or 14 championships across many different divisions racing from quarter midgets to late models. This is his, 9th race behind the wheel of a modified, and he is rolling from the pole here tonight in this feature event. To the outside, tricky Troy Folger, always one to watch. Southern County Lubricants, Chuck's Brake and Wheel Service, All Flow Muffler and Auto, all sponsors for the 2014 NorCal Mod Champ. Behind the wheel of the number 49 car. They are your front row, getting ready to bring this field to life. The pace will quicken, the field will tighten up. The green goes up. It is time to drop the hammer on night number 3 of the Wild West Modified Shootout. Tricky Troy instantly to the point. Trying to hang on to it out turn number 2 as we are floor wide back behind. Here comes the 54 car. Digging hard right there for Nick Trenchard as he shot through where there's nothing to be found. Squeezing the weasels, I like to say. The 54 car slides into the number 4 spot for Trenchard as we are 2 wide, 3 wide, back through the field. Up front, Tricky Troy gave it up to Brad Martin. He's your race leader. Paul Stone working hard down on the inside. 66P car left up, hammer down. He's got the number 2 spot away from Folger. 41 car rolls along in the number 4 spot right now as Danny Lauer tries to hang tough down on the inside. He'll pick off the 49 car. Shuffled off the Buffalo down into the back stretch. Here comes the 41 of Lauer. Lauer down to the inside of Paul Stone. Stone holds him off, smacks him down like a small child reaching for the cookie jar on that little challenge coming out turn number 4. Lauer will slide up high on the racetrack, and now the 49 car of Folger will come to call on the number 3 spot. Meanwhile, up front, Brad Martin is capitalizing on that pole starting position as he is elbows up, heading into turn number 1 and 2. Back behind, watching the 98 car. Stanford out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Alex Stanford may be coming. Mark Walge, they had to weld on that race car back in the pits. That stats around, caution flag comes out. Had to weld on Walge's car back in the pits. I don't know how much time or if they had enough time to complete the repair necessary and get that thing set up the way they wanted, but it's handling very well as he was working hard to the inside of Troy Morris Jr. in a 07X car. So take a look back through the field. Brad Martin right now, class of the field, as he sits in that number 1 spot. Paul Stone in the number 2 position. Back behind him sits the number 41 car of Danny Lauer. He's 3rd. 4th is Troy Folger in the 49. 5th, B.J. Wild in the number 12. The 54N car sits in the number 6 spot. That's Nick Trenchard. Beyond him, Colin Weinbarger is 7th in the Superman car. 8th is Troy Morris Jr. in the 07X. 9th is Mark Walge in a 1M car. And rounding out your top 10 is Alex Stanford in number 98. Just outside the top 10, currently 11th on the fields, Jesse Williamson in the W5. Williamson had started 13th. So Williamson currently sits 11th. He had started 13th. 12th is Scott Lenz in the 83L car. 13th is 75X of Joe German. 14th is Ryan Gaylord in the 7R car. And rounding out your top 15 is Scott Olson in the 4Z. So that's how we have stacked up here. His first caution flag coming out on a feature event for the modifieds. And again, a nice crowd here. I know it's tough to see in the camera because the grandstands are so long for the drag strip. Everybody's sitting up here at the top, but they're spread into the trees on either side of us as well. But that's a nice looking crowd. Nice racetrack, absolutely positively gorgeous racetrack here at Coos Speedway. If you are sliding through the area at some point or take a vacation out here, try to catch a show. Modifieds, only the 3rd time Modifieds ever been on this racetrack. Normally runs 360 sprint cars here. And there will be a sprint car special here later on this year, so something for you. Maybe come out and visit them here at Coos Bay Speedway. Just outside of Coos Bay. It's about almost 10 miles outside of Coos Bay.
The 75X, Joe German. The 7R, Ryan Gaylord. The 4Z, Zach Olson. The number 8, Rob Ireland. The 68, Jesse Bailey.
So right now, the chat, they're trying to pick who's going to win this thing. It's all over the place. We're going to find out. Delaware double foul. Green goes up. We cut them loose once again. Here comes the attack, out of the number 41 to Danny Lauer. Lauer came into this thing. He said, I got one race car. I got to take care of it. Trying to make it all the way through the Wild West Modified shootout, but he is quickly looking to the inside of Brad Martin. Had to make it happen quick because Brad Martin is gone. In a number 99 car, did the exact same thing on the initial start of the race, but man, whenever he pours the coal to it, that thing just gets with the go. As look out, Weinbarger almost got tangled up with Troy Morris Jr. coming out turn number 2, had to check up big time, keep himself out of the wall, and unfortunately he's going to give up 2 or 3 spots before it's all said and done. So Weinbarger shuffled back behind Alex Stanford in the number 98 car. Stanford able to slide on through, and now Jesse Williamson will go to work on Troy Morris Jr. in the 07X car. Williamson to W5. Tiger on the side of it. Right now is battling hard for the number 7 spot on the racetrack. Remember, after that last caution flag, he was sitting in the number 11 position, so he picked off a few of them for Williamson. But he's got a long road to hoe if he's going to get himself up to the front. It's going to start right now, though, as B.J. Wild got a little rambunctious on his entrance into turn number 3 and washed up high on a racetrack. Troy Morris Jr. was down the inside, as was Jesse Williamson. Caution flag comes out. Nedstat and Robert Ireland got tangled up. As Ireland a little creased up, working the wheel back and forth. Yep, he's back into the pits with it. I'm telling you, you saw him working the wheel back and forth. There is something wrong with the steering or the front end geometry or something on Robert Ireland's car. He is struggling with it tonight.
outside of the 8 of Ireland.
Sean Nedstedt, one car involved down there as well when the caution flag came out. I don't believe they got tangled up. But there is something
to the pit area
with Rob's 8 car, Robert Ireland, out of Forest Grove, Oregon. Ireland and Ireland, Klecker Knives, Privateer Racing, all sponsors on the number 8 car. Was a 2013 Sunset Speedway champ. He is a lawyer with his wife, hence the Ireland and Ireland sponsorship on the side of the race car. And I believe someone said, or I heard somewhere or read somewhere, that they specialize in patent law. So if you have a device that you would like to patent, he might be one to talk to. Fellow racer, if you're a racer.
Runs in 6th, followed by Troy Morris, Jesse Williamson, and Alex Stanford.
So Brad Martin up front.
And that is your top 10.
Hanging tough. Rolling from the pole and so far has been the race leader. The few laps that we have put into the books.
It would be if the 99 could get the job done here. This facility, about a year ago, almost to the day, saw Colin Baker win his first career Touring Series race with what was then called the ASCS Northwest region. That same series, the Western Sprint Tour, newly named, will be here.
Doubling them back up. Delaware double foul restart.
And it'll be on a Tuesday night.
Martin up front on the point. Paul Stone sitting to the outside of row number 2.
That'll be June 30th, the final date of the current month here. So Danny Lauer is second. Paul Stone, we mentioned third. Troy Folger, Nick Trenchard, BJ Wild, Troy Morris, the W5 Jesse Williamson, 98 Alex Stanford.
So Danny Lauer looking pretty good there in the 41 car. He had started 7th, currently sits in the number 2 spot. Heading into this restart. 1 to go from the starter stands. They get the finger. Set to cut him loose next time. Coming out turn number 4, Stone to the outside. Inside row number 3, it's Troy Folger. With the 54 in, and Nick Trenchard sitting to the outside. Trenchard last year had a stellar season in the 54N car, picking up the wins there at the Lon Skinner Memorial, the Northwest Modified Nationals, and the Ron Riestead Memorial. All being notched for the 54N and Nick Trenchard, so he's definitely quick. There's no doubt about it. Is he quick enough to get himself up front? We're going to find out. So we take him through the corner, 3 wide, back through the field. Troy Morris Jr. working around the outside, tight to the wall, and there's not a lot of room to be found. Look out, Troy Folger. Folger was on the binders hard. We had one gallivanting about down on the infield, kicked up the dust down. Turn number 1 and 2 made the visibility a little questionable for him, and they are slow coming out turn number 4. So far, nope, caution flags coming out. Unfortunately, Woggy's not having a good night. Made it into the big show, and unfortunately, he's headed back into the pits with the 1M cars. Not sure what transpired there, but he was down through the infield and then was slow coming out turn number 4, and a caution flag comes out. They're going to work on him. Got a right rear tire down, it looks like. So he is in the hot pit area. So they're scrambling around like a bunch of little worker bees, trying to get him repaired and get him back out here again.
The most attention to some of the sheet metal damage done towards the rear.
So tomorrow night, it's off to Cottage Grove Speedway for night number 4. If you want to keep up with the action here, it's going to be live on Speed Shift TV. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Thank you to all those that are joining us for the whole week. We appreciate you guys.
Didn't lose much position on the track.
Take a look here and let me see.
Might have had some assistance going through the infield, but nonetheless,
you can follow along with the Wild West. Actually, that's where I'm going now. If you go to the Wild West Modified Shootout page, we have all the information up there as far as where the races are, and when it happens, how the point structure works, and so on and so forth.
Brad Martin leads. The 41, Danny Lauer. The 66P, Paul Stone. 49, Troy.
After Cottage Grove, it's Sunset Speedway. And then Willamette for 2 nights at Willamette Speedway. And I understand they just redid that track not too awful long ago. And I know the fine folks up here in the Pacific Northwest are awfully proud of Willamette Speedway. So Anxious to get there and see what that's like. It'll be a first visit there as well. All these tracks are a first visit for me. And you know what I just realized, Darren? I forgot to get soil samples for Kevin Feller. Well, he's just going to have to come out to the Pacific Northwest, isn't he? I don't have plastic bags. And if you have a track where you're located and you find yourself journeying to the Duel in the Desert or the IMCA Super Nationals, pack up a little half of a baggie full of your dirt, and right on the outside of it what track it's from, what town, and take it and ask for Kevin Feller. He has a dirt track collection. It's kind of a neat deal. As a matter of fact, it might have been on display at Super Nationals. Not sure if it was or not, but very cool. Here we go. Brad Martin up front. Once again on the gas with everybody else running after him. Paul Stone got a great start that time coming out turn number 4. As he gassed it up, shot down the front straightaway in turn number 1 and 2. He'll give up the position to the 41 car of Danny Lauer. But he's hanging in there. Number is up. Yeah, 3 spots stacked up. Whoa. Colin Weinberger punched the tire down the infield. Is unfortunately a victim of the chain reaction that took place there. Caution flag's going to come out. We got 2 of them scrambled around. Woggy was back on the racetrack. Now he's got front end damage to the 1M car. All 4 tires are up, though. Weinberger, he's going to head pit side. He's got to go to the tail of the field anyhow. He's going to take it back in and have him take a look at it. The crew's scrambling to check on Weinberger. So we'll get him straightened out and try to get back on the gas here again in this feature event.
Sideways was able to save it, but cars went everywhere, taking evasive maneuvers. As you can tell, not a lot of real estate to operate with, and what does happen very often is cars will get into one another and bounce around like pinballs. We still have 9 laps complete, and still your race leader, Brad Martin. Danny Lauer, he finds himself second. It's changed actually within our top 5 since we went green last.
So looking for a long green flag run here. Let them stretch your legs a little bit. There's a couple cars back in the mid-pack right now that just need the track to widen out just a smidge. Now, they've all been running the middle down. They actually narrowed the track up a little bit as they're developing little loose crumblies on the top side. It's something that Nate and Tom were talking about in the chat there. If they need to just widen it out, they need a couple guys to break out a formation, work together, and then bring the top side of the racetrack in. It should be able to rip their way around there. And right there, somebody checking it out. Trenchard goes up, feels it out in the 54N car, gassed it up on the top side of the racetrack. So they're thinking about it. They just need to do it. If Kellen Chadwick was here, he would do it, Darren. No, he's sitting at home with his feet propped up watching it on Speed Shift TV. Kellen Chadwick told me one time, and I'll never forget it. He said sometimes to go forward, you got to go backward 10 spots.
To continue, that is most unfortunate.
And I've seen him put on a show like that before, too.
Brad Martin, he is the race leader.
I can't remember where we were. We might have been Super Nationals talking whenever he told me that. So here we go.
Out of turn 4, gonna get
Brad Martin up front on the point, going to bring it back to life. He's watching back through. Scott Lenz is going up high on the racetrack. Alex Stanford starting to feel around there. 3 wide down the back straightaway again as Troy Morris Jr. will try it to the outside of BJ Wild. Trying to make it happen, and look who's along for the ride. Here comes the 98 of Alex Stanford. He says, come on, I'll help you out. Nope, he won't. He dodges down the inside, made a liar out of him. He's going to try to pick off Troy Morris Jr. coming out turn number 2, and Stanford slides up into the number 6 spot with a little move like that. Morris continues to work top shelf on the racetrack. As BJ Wild challenges down the inside, now Stanford will go to work on Trenchard in the 54N car. Right there is the man on the move. Could be the hard charger right now, although Ryan Gaylord breaks out of formation. Now he's working on the top side with the 07X car. It's there to be found. Ryan Gaylord able to rock it around. Scott Lenz in the 83L car will now go after Joe German in the 75X car. Whoops, no daylight to be found. Checks up, drops back in behind that 2 wide battle right there. Meanwhile, here comes the 98 of Stanford now into the number 5 spot as Stanford able to move past Nick Trenchard and goes to work on Troy Folger just ahead. Stanford trying to run the nose up deep in turn number 3 and 4. Made the pass on Trenchard to the outside. He's trying to make a pass on Folger to the inside. It's not going to happen for him. Troy Morris Jr. is stuck with the top shelf of the racetrack this entire time. It's down the back chute they go. Your race leader, Brad Martin, so far uncontested, unmolested up front. There's your run out of turn number 2. Or is it? Nope. Stanford bumping on the throttle. Didn't try to make it happen right there. He's got the nose on him, and Folger again holds him off. Just a little better run coming out. Turn number 4, and it is definitely distinct shape here. It's there. He'll seal the deal. Has got it. Taking it away from Troy Folger, and into the number 4 spot goes Alex Stanford, your defending champ in the Wild West Modified Shootout. Back behind, Trenchard continues to duke it out for number 12 of BJ Wild. Jesse Williamson has got his rear punched up just a little bit, but he's towing along there right now in about the number 8 position on the racetrack. Ryan Gaylord gave up on the top shelf. He'll move down to the inside and get around Joe German. Now go to work on Scott Lenz in the 83L car as he rolls out of turn number 4 and down the front chute. Race leaders, top 3 have broken away. You hate to see a caution flag, but that's what we need right now for Alex Stanford to get him reeled in. Brad Martin's down in turn number 1 and 2 right now. Behind him comes the number 41 of Danny Lauer, and then Paul Stone in the 66P car. You got about a straightaway back to Alex Stanford, who is separated from the battle taking place now for the number 5 position between Troy Folger and Nick Trenchard. Trenchard almost had Folger picked off on the back straightaway, but couldn't quite get around him. And look, coming out of turn number 4, Folger was able to power back out to about a 3-car length lead in the number 5 spot. It's Paul Stone still working the wheel in the number 3 position. The 66P car still trying to hunt down the 41 of Danny Lauer. Lauer could not hang on to Brad Martin. Martin's about to run down Joey Price at the tail of the field, and lap traffic is going to become a factor in this race. That's what Stanford needs. Either a flash of the yellow or lap traffic to hold him up just a smidge, because I believe if we had access to the transponders, you'd find out the number 98 car is the quickest steed out here on this racetrack right now. Folger still 5th. 6th is Nick Trenchard. In a 54N car, 7th belongs to Jesse Williamson. 8th is BJ Weld. 9th is Scott Lenz. And rounding out your top 10 is Ryan Gaylord in the 7R car. 11th is Joe German and Troy Morris Jr. respectively. Depends on how they come across the stripe. They've been swapping back and forth about 15 times right now as we're into lap traffic. Here we go. Now it's turned into basically a late model race. Guess who is a late model champion? Yeah, Brad Martin in the 99 car. If you don't think he knows how to pick through lap traffic, you'd be fooling yourself. Although, here comes the challenge out. Danny Lauer ran him down as he ran up to the back of Joey Price, and Lauer's got a nose on him. It is go time right there for the 99 cars. He's going to shrug off the 41 of Danny Lauer. Lauer comes up with another plan. Doesn't have to be a great plan, just good enough to get around that 99 car just ahead as he'll tickle the tail feathers coming out. Goes to the outside, goes to the 41 car. Going to try to dig it around the top shelf. Here comes 41. You got a new race leader right there. Danny Lauer's got him. He's got him. He's got to seal the deal as Brad challenges back to the inside. The 99 of Martin back up to the number 1 spot on the point. Danny Lauer continues to work the top shelf on the racetrack. That lane is there. He's got a good run coming out. Turn number 4 again, scoring in that number 1 spot. Laps being put in the book right now as Martin and Lauer will stay side by side for the race lead. Paul Stone watches on in the 66P car, and look who else is coming to call. Alex Stanford in 98 has reeled in your top 3. He's back just a smidge as again the 41 of Lauer scored in the number 1 position. All those cars cannot get around Joey Price, who is your last car on the field, your last car on the lead lap, and they cannot put him a lap down right now, but they continue that side-by-side battle out of turn number 4. Brad Martin gets across the stripe first that time, but the 41 of Lauer is still right there till he's outside. Gave it up. Brad Martin gasses it up. He's going to come up and give a little tap, tap, tap on the back of Joey Price in the 37. He says, come on, dude, let me through. I got to go. It is time as Paul Stone and Alex Stanford all follow. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the field. Top 4 cars right there with Joey Price to the inside. Brad Martin's able to clear him. Trying to put a buffer between himself and the 41 of Danny Lauer. He'll stay up high on the racetrack. Lauer down on the inside. Loses a grip on Brad Martin, and away he goes. Trying to separate from those 3 cars coming behind. Alex Stanford working up high on the racetrack. Paul Stone middle of the racetrack in the 66 B car in the 3 spot. Lauer still running second and just ahead. Brad Martin's in heavy lap traffic now. What's he going to do? Could Danny Lauer come up with something? He led a few laps. He just needs to lead the last lap. As Brad Martin, the 99 car, that sharp looking impressive chassis, continues to hang on to the race lead by just a smidge. Campos to the outside. To the front of him is Beetle Bailey in the 68 cars. The white flag has flown. It's the final time around for Brad Martin. He's got it, or does he? Right there's Lauer in the number 2 spot. Checkered flag flies. Brad Martin hangs on. Lauer finishes out second. Paul Stone third. Alex Stanford fourth. And if that doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet. Wow. Any one of those 4 cars could have won that bad boy. Any one of those 4 cars, lap traffic was a factor big time, and your race winner couldn't hardly get around the number 37 car. Brad Martin picks up the win. The St. Helens, Oregon racer. Reese's Fine Foods, Western Pacific heads towards victory lane.
Your unofficial top 5, Brad Martin, your winner. Second, the 41, Danny Lauer. The 66, Paul Stone. The 98 of Alex Stanford, and the 49 of Troy Folger. How about it for California? Strong representation tonight here at Coos Bay. 4 out of the top 5, but Brad Martin, the kid from Warren, gets the job done. We're going to grab a word with our top finishers here in just a little bit. As you can see, the crew, Dad, Jeremy, and company headed towards the 99.